Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hera TV. My name is Laleh Hancock. I'm one of the advisors at Hera, and today I have a very special guest with me, Vera Futorjanski. And this incredible being has been a leader of so many things around the world. And today we have the great pleasure of having her here. I want to give you just a teeny tiny bit about her background, and then I'm going to let her jump and tell us more. She's a CEO and founder of the Veritas Ventures, which is a global strategic advisory firm. She is a serial entrepreneur who is currently building a community for female leaders. Previously, with venture capitals from 500 Global in charge of the Middle East. Prior to that, she was part of the Dubai Future Foundation. She was part of the Prime Minister's Office of the UAE. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This incredible leader has been working in the world of tech and so many other things of empowerment for so long. So Vera, welcome to Hera TV.
Thank you so much for having me, Laleh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, I know, you are a moderator for things that do with tech. You're there from bringing innovation, ideas that have never existed into life, working with governments, working with tech agencies and others. But there's something very special in your heart about empowering women, being there, empowering leaders. So I'm curious today, where can we go? What is it that you would like to send out as a message to all of those that are watching, whether they're women or they're men, their children, to truly, what else is possible that most people haven't even considered yet?
Wow, Laleh, we go right in. I love that. Usually those messages are kept for the end, what's your parting message? But I love that you asked from the beginning. Wow, there are so many. I mean, first of all, I really would love to share with women, but also men, to truly believe in themselves. We're taught from early age to be kind of get into certain boxes. We need to decide who we want to be at the earliest age. Whereas in my life, for example, I've changed careers several times, and I feel life is so fast moving nowadays that we don't need to do something only because we studied certain things. Of course, if you want to be a doctor, you study medicine and you stay in that field most of the time, even though I've even seen doctors changing into careers like becoming entrepreneurs or management consultants. For me, it's about, truly believing in yourself, believing that if you really want to do something, you want to change, you can learn anything you want by immersing yourself into that and change your careers. To not take a no for an answer, I think that's an important one as well, especially having built in such male heavy fields like technology and venture capital. I have heard I know so many times, and that really I think made me who I am today by hearing that no, but doing it anyway, even if it included struggling and having to fight for it. But and I hope that women who come after you and my generation will have to fight less. I mean, that is also one of the reasons why I'm building beyond this network for female leaders, just because I really want women to feel that they have this community behind them, the network that supports them, that has their back, that they're not alone out there fighting, because so many of us are, just fighting for what should be equal rights, let's be honest. But many times we're there on our own. So to have that community, to understand that there are people behind you who really want you best, truly, who not just your followers, but who are really your supporters and your, part of your community. I think that's really important. So not to take no for an answer. And the last one, which I have been inspired by my grandma, is to not be afraid to start over. And that has been an important one for me as well, because sometimes our careers have to shift for certain reasons. For me, for example, my very first career had to shift because of health reasons. I could not continue anymore, so I had to find something new. So not to be afraid to start over has been a continuous part of my journey in life that I come over and over again to. And that has been an inspiration from my grandmother. And I have shared with you briefly the story, and I'm happy to also share with the audience. It was when we moved to Germany. So I'm an immigrant child who moved to Germany when I was 11, almost 12, and my grandma used to be in a high position in the government of the local city in the country where I used to live, or we used to live. And when we came to Germany, obviously, it's a different country. Her government position would not be accepted, and she didn't speak the language on top of that. So she just, put her ego aside and started over and went into an elderly home and started working there. So imagine from this government position going to an elderly home where, is not what she was used to. But she continued being the strong woman who said, it's a situation I'm in right now, and I am going to not be afraid to start over. I'm still young. She was 50 years old, and she did that for a few years. I think that inspired me a lot, and that shows me that no matter what comes next, I can start over.
Yeah. And I think most of us, like you said, we have boxes that we put ourselves in based on what our parents' expectations are of what we should do, so we don't follow the track they followed on. Or sometimes we are picking something because at that moment it seems like the career, it seems like where our joy is, where we are led to. But you're going to change. Each one of us every day is going to be different than yesterday. The whole world changed every day. As the earth is moving, so are we. And I think that's the thing we tend to forget. Most of us think we have to have one path, and that path that we take from beginning to the end. But no, the part of the journey is you finding this discovery of who are you today. What grand and glorious adventures are you going to have today? And today it might be the route of technology, where tomorrow might be something different. It's funny because you and I, we've met before. I adore you. We have similar paths of the past.
Thank
you. I was 7 when there was a revolution in Iran. My father sent us to France, and starting brand new. And I recall that moment of like, I'm in a foreign country, all my friends are gone, like, where am I? And knowing that I had 2 choices. I can be an introvert, which I could have done really well, and just kind of made it be about family, go to school, come home. And then the other option was there. I don't know how long I'm going to be in this town. I don't know how long I'm in this country. I don't know when I'm going to return to my country. So what if I got to know as many people as I possibly can? And that's been kind of like my mission in life, as I travel around the world, like, how many more people can I add to my life? Because we each have different stories. We all have different cultures. We have different ways that we can provide input and information. So I'm wondering, I love what you have accomplished in your careers. You've done so many things. Everything you've ever touched has been so incredible. And you also have this other passion, this interest to really empower leaders. So I'm wondering, can we talk a little bit about that, of like the journey that got you there? And then what is it you're actually creating? Because the world needs more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Laleh. You're probably one of the very few people I know who travel, as much or even more than I do. You're constantly on the plane. So last time, and yes, I loved it, our meeting in Dubai. Today, I'm in Berlin. I don't even know where you are. Are you in Paris, or where are you right now?
I'm at a ranch outside of Houston, Texas. As you can see, my friend, the bear behind
I can
me.
see the bear. I was wondering, where is that bear from? Where is she? I was just in Paris last week, in fact. And to what you just mentioned earlier, I love that the path can change, and with that also the purpose. I speak to a lot of young women who struggle with either their startups or in life, and they want me to mentor them, and they say we can't find our purpose. And I tell them, purpose is something that can shift. Purpose is not one thing you decide when you are 21 and it stays with you for life. Your purpose can shift. My purpose was has shifted several times already. Right now my purpose is to build that community I mentioned at the beginning, beyond the female leaders community, just because I see more and more, and I think it's especially having gone through the venture capital path, I see how much women really need that support network of trusted equals, And I really want to emphasize trusted and equals. It's really about being among women who have the similar life experience like you, not necessarily the title. I really feel like we should not be defining ourselves and others by titles, because we're much more than our titles or the work we do. And I'm really trying to change that. That's one of the goals. And another goal is I want to stop this whole age conversation. You know, we define women way too much by age as well. And it happens very often that women at certain age just almost disappear. You know, there are not, I've seen many advisors in my different careers, and was usually, you know, older white men. And I just really want to bring more diversity into that. I love Jane Fonda, for that matter, who talks about her third act right now. And also she's on her third act. I feel like I'm also on my third act to create that network. So women are among trusted equals. We can support each other. I have my purpose right now is to create that network, to bring more women on boards, to create, you know, more, a bigger community for those women, more women in leadership. And in order to get there, I mean, first of all, I think it's important to, you know, to take risks. I think, you know, to your question about, you know, how I got here, I think it was about taking risks. I remember so the first career that I had to end was I was dancing. So I was a dancer. I had an accident and I had to stop dancing. Unfortunately, as an artist, you rely a lot on either your feet or your hands, depending on which art you perform. And I had to rethink. So I studied political science, went into politics, worked in the European Union, loved it, but it was too slow for me. And I think that's also important for every woman to actually take time to sit down and listen deep inside, because intuitively we really know deep inside what's good for us. So to just take that time, for me, it's meditation. I have my daily meditation practice. I have my meditation cushion behind me on which I sit and meditate daily, to really listen inside and feel, okay, what do I feel right now? So after, even though I had a comfortable life in Brussels in the EU, I felt I wanted to move on and to do something that is fast paced, where I really feel it's changing the world. And tech was that at that time. So it's about 10 years ago. So I went into tech and joined a company in Berlin that was really building the ecosystem in Berlin, and joined them to run the global communications during the IPO. And then when the time came and they IPO'd and I said I want to be more of an entrepreneur, I had, you know, another no in my life where they said, but no, you're not a white male. Usually we only have white male founders. And that's where I realized, okay, I need to take risk. So I told them it's either, you know, I leave completely, or, you know, let's find a solution. And not being able to change your life, not being afraid to change your life completely, to take those risks, to do things that scare you, is, I think, is what got me to where I am. Because I went into, you know, building a startup, then joined the government without really knowing how to build an accelerator. I've never done it before. Joined a venture capital firm without, you know, having studied finance or being in VC, but it's just saying yes to things. I love that quote, you know, I think Eric Schmidt gave Sheryl Sandberg once, that goes, if somebody offers you a seat on a rocket ship, you don't ask which seat, you just, you know, take it. So I love that. I follow that principle a lot, where I say, I don't know how to do it, but I will learn. And I think this is maybe another piece of advice I would like to share with any, you know, young woman or man listening. It's really about, we can learn things as we go. You probably know the statistics as well, where with job applications, when men apply for jobs, even if they only have 5 of the 10 points, they feel like I'm the best candidate. Whereas we women will feel like, oh, if we don't have one of those points, we're not good enough for that. I really feel we need to change that way of thinking and really trust that we will learn as we do as well. So I've been doing a lot of learning by doing in my life. In fact, I think I'm better in that than learning beforehand. I think you learn the best on the job. So I think it's saying yes to things that scare you. That would be one of the big lessons I had in my life and big learnings that I cherish.
Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting because I work a lot with people and their bodies, you know, with wellness and well-being. And one of the things that I bring to people's attention is that the symptoms that you perceive in your body, whether it's that increased heart rate or whatever it is, your palms sweating or whatever that makes you think it's discomfort, it's fear, is actually the same as when you're enthusiastic or excited. So a lot of times as a young child, we actually learn from our wonderful, caring mothers who worry too much to misidentify these
Yeah,
as one, making it be that it's fear when it's not. So when you are in that uncomfortable space, it actually is that you've discovered something new. You're not familiar with it. And so there is going to be that, seems like that uncomfortable, weird, fearful kind of thing. But if you ask, hey, is this actually excitement? You're going to
yeah,
find that it is. It's that intriguing curiosity of something
100%.
new.
You know, Laleh, I love that you say that because I heard that myself just recently. This year, I had this honor and pleasure to moderate a panel with Deepak Chopra, Sadhguru, and a young woman from Ecuador who fights to protect the rainforest. And I was so nervous before, like I haven't been in a long time. I was really nervous. I meditated so much. And a woman came to me with whom I shared, I'm nervous. And she said, did you know that exactly what you just said? Being nervous and afraid is the same as being excited. And that mind shift, that really thinking about it differently, I was like, yes, indeed, it's amazing. I actually have this opportunity to speak to those amazing global leaders. And that switch, that little mind shift made a big difference.
Yeah. And how often, as we're about to venture in something new, that those feelings, those symptoms come up, and then we shy away instead of taking two more steps. Because a lot of times, look at, even if something was fearful or something was so unknown to you, if you did take two more steps, something amazing usually got created. So it really is, like you said at the beginning, never giving up.
But let's just also, you know, I feel like we also have to recognize that it is very hard. You know, I myself am in this process of being a founder again, and it is hard. So women might listen and feel like, oh, it's easy for you to say, but you've been there yourself. I've been there. So we also know how hard it is. And I think it's important to acknowledge and recognize and know that it is hard, and not think that it's not going to be hard. It is. You know, it's hard to build something new, not to be on a comfortable salary, to leave something that is comfortable and stable behind and venture into something that is so unknown. I have no idea whether what I'm building will be successful, but if I don't try, I might regret for the rest of my life. So this trying, but knowing exactly, it will be hard. But that's why, you know, not many people do that because it's hard, you know. So it's, what do we want? You know, easy life, hard choices, or hard life, easy choices. You know, it's I think it's acknowledging it's hard. It's also giving oneself credit that yes, you are doing something hard. Acknowledge that taking time for, you know, to rest, to replenish again is super important. And like I was saying before, with this meditation for me, to really go within, that helps me to stay balanced and to find answers to many things. You know, as simple as, do I feel I want to do this? Do I feel like I want to hire that person? How does it actually really feel?
Yeah. And you know, you have restarted your life many times in different ways, right? Like you were talking about the dancing and then different things, the politics, and then getting into the tech, and then now what you're adventuring into. So, but the hard things don't have to own us. You know, it's all our perspectives. Like, you know, when my kids were less than 2, I got divorced. And everyone told me my life's going to be so difficult. But it didn't have
Mm.
to be. I chose something different. My ex and I, from the moment we separated, we were best friends and still are over 24 years later, you know?
Wow.
And so it is our, it doesn't mean everything is going to be just hand delivered to you with ease, but it's also our perspective. If we're going to do it from fight and we're going to do it from it's a problem,
Yeah.
you're only going to face what that is. You can only bring the frequency of that kind of
Yeah.
energy. But if you're like, I have no idea where to start, I have no idea how to do this, and
Yeah.
ask for help. And that's the
Yeah.
thing, is that we have to be vulnerable enough to ask, who can help me?
Yeah. Asking for help, super important. Building your support network, super important. That's one of the pieces of advice when I'm being asked what I would like to, you know, to give as a piece of advice to women. I really say, build a network of women around you, or men, who are really your champions, who are your supporters, who will believe in you, who also equally will challenge you and tell you, I don't think this is right, who will give you direct feedback. I appreciate that much more. Maybe it's my German side, where I rather have people tell me direct than talk in circles. That support network is super important, that you tap into, no matter if you feel down as a founder, if you need support, if you want to bounce ideas, and that support network is super important. And what, to your earlier point where you said about trusting, I think it's so important to trust oneself, but also trust that the universe wants your best, really, and has your back. I have this wonderful couple that I meditate a lot and do mantra chanting, Deva and Miten. I might have mentioned to you before, I met them in Costa Rica, and I went on the retreat and I chant their mantras a lot. And Miten has a wonderful song that goes something along the lines that if you don't fight with life, life will simply take you on its shoulder and carry you, which basically says that if you don't fight constantly against the flow of life, it will help you. And I'm a strong believer of that. I had to learn it the hard way as well. Each year I choose a word of the year for me that I try to work with. And a few years ago, I think 5 years ago, it was the word trust. To really trust, trust myself, trust other people, trust the universe. That was hard. I remember I went on a retreat in Mexico City, worked with some shamans as well. I really just want to trust. And those are small shifts, but they make a big difference. And trusting that life wants my best has been quite monumental in my life. Yeah. Wow. But having said that, I really want to tell, to really share with people who don't think, it's just, spiritual and easy. It is hard. Every day I have ups and downs. It's normal right now with you, because I just meditated and I can talk about trust in the universe. But tomorrow I might have my founder low and just really be, whatever, struggling with certain decisions. So it's not always just nice and easy. There are a lot of hard points as well. I think that's important to keep in mind, because we tend to listen to a lot of people who talk about just do it. But yes, do it, but do it mindfully and know that it's not going to be easy. I think it's important to just also be honest with oneself and with others.
Yeah. One thing that I actually learned from one of my mentors many years ago is we tend to want to do everything at once and solve everything at once. What if everything was just 10 seconds? Like if you took away this big old monster that we're trying to solve and made it be 10 seconds and just asked, if I only had 10 seconds to live the rest of my life, what would I choose? And it brings you to be present. And it also takes the overwhelm away and makes you just look at, okay, I have 10 seconds. You have a bear chasing you. You have 10 seconds to live. What are you going to do?
That's why you have that bear in the background. It's a reminder.
He's my protector. Yeah. But it is because so often we do look at, our mind is very powerful. And so we use it against us. When you think of one thing and you worry about the problems, you make it be so much bigger than it has to be. But if you take that 10 seconds, it's only 10 seconds. And then in 10 seconds, you can change your mind and do something different. So that's actually been one thing in the last almost 11 years that's really helped me keep going, is that, that was only 10 minutes. That's 10 seconds, whatever, or 10 minutes or 10 hours or whatever you want to make it for yourself. But then it doesn't have to stay with you forever.
Mm-hmm. So you mean the kind of accepting and letting go, is that part of it as well?
Well, that's a given for me. I believe in allowance and just letting everything be something that I can let go of at any moment.
Like flow. Yeah, flow.
Because what you described, you described it earlier when you said you follow life and you stop resisting it. When we have resistance to where that energy is going is when we're like that ocean is attacking, instead of when you have that wave, they tell you flow. Don't go to panic. Don't try to swim against it. Flow with it. It's going to take you somewhere, and then choose in 10 seconds, where else do you want to flow to, It doesn't have to last forever.
Yeah. Very good reminder.
Yeah. Vera, you and I, we met the leader of Hera, Marinella, and she is definitely a cookie that just will never give up. So as we depart today, like, what's your vision of Hera in 5 years? Having a place where women do have the support system that you're talking about, not just doing it for them, but empowering them to do it for themselves. So I'm just curious, what do you foresee in the future of Hera?
So yeah, I love Marianella, and I'm looking forward to seeing her again. I'll be traveling to Portugal next month, so hopefully we'll manage to meet again. What she's building, I really admire. The city for women that is being built in Morocco right now, I think is an amazing project. It will take decades, as she says as well, but I think to actually have a physical space, and I envision for Hera to have those physical spaces in more than just one country, but have it all over the world where women can gather, where they have the space where they can come to, to learn, to create impact together, to grow, to really, get that nourishment that many lack in their daily lives. So I envision that, and the network I'm building, I think, in collaboration with that could be really excellent. So yeah, I wish Marianella all the success, and I'm here to support as her, ambassador for whichever part of the world. And yeah, I see great things for Hera, and there are already that city being built. You have the Hera TV, so many other things in the making. I know she had a perfume as well. So it's wonderful things. It's, the fact alone, I think what women, and I noticed that whenever I speak on stages and I mention the network I'm building, women have the spark in their eyes when they realize somebody actually cares. Somebody really wants to build something for them. Somebody wants to support. Somebody shows that they really matter. I think that alone already, that this is being built, is a big support for women emotionally, and will be going forward, not just emotionally, but also mentally, physically, and in all other ways. So yeah, I'm looking forward to visiting the Hera city.
Me too. And Hera is already in existence, even though the city is going to take a long time. Hera currently is all around the world. We have men and women who are creating programs. We have, opera singers who also have different programs that they're supporting Hera with. We have women who have created marketplaces in different parts of the country that are already starting to benefit other women. And so the thing that I have found with Hera is that it's not just one thing. The city is one of those items, but it really is what you described. Being there for each other, being there to support, to empower each other to be the greatness of ourselves. And the marketplace that will be there, the university that will be created, and really bringing it all together, because it really is, each of us knows something.
Yeah.
And we are that gift to that ecosystem you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, 100%. It's this being there for each other and being diverse. I think what I love about Hera as well is it really embraces diversity. So being there for each other, embracing diversity, and really create that feeling of belongingness, that there's belonging to a group of people. Like you said, it's not just women, it's women and men who really support each other. Yeah, I love that. This is wonderful. We need more of that in the world, for sure.
Yeah. Vera, thank you so much for today. Thank you for everything you're generating and creating in the world. And I so look forward to hearing on the next interview about this new program that you have for women leaders too, because I'm very fascinated by your vision of what you like to create there. And of course, it's all part of the Hera world as well. So we look forward to really what reach we can be out there for everyone. And thank you all for watching. And if you guys have any questions, you can go to heracity.org and click the contact us page and let us know what themes, and is there someone that you would like to nominate for us to interview and bring their brilliance highlighted here on Hera TV. And I do want to put a thing out there for Hera Media Group, because it got started by Mary Pagano, and she's also an advisor at Hera. And really the reach of Hera Media Group right now is incredible. It's partnering with athletes, it's partnering with business people around the world, and really bringing the message of Hera out there. So thank you all, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next interview. Vera, thank you so much. Sending big hugs to you, to Berlin, from our bear here in Houston.
Thank you so much for having me, Laleh. This was a pleasure. Love talking to you.
I look forward to seeing you really soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.